The InkBook Lumos features a 6-inch capacitive touchscreen display with a resolution of 800 by 600 with 167 ppi. It's using a cheap dual-core Cortex A9 processor and has 512 MB of RAM, 4 gigs of internal storage, and using Android 4.4.2 for all of your Android needs. So this is the worst e-reader of the year. It's slow, sluggish. It is billing itself as color, temperature, lighting, but they forgot to actually include the red LEDs. Yeah. So you have just different degrees of blue and white.
And we'll show you that in the LED portion of it. But Mike, take us through the UI of what this has to offer.
So you have your library, which comprises of all of the ebooks. There's a number of preloaded ones, about like 8 pages of them and such.
Different languages as well available.
Yeah. So this is the apps category, internet browser, InkBook App Store, which comprises of 16 apps. Google Drive, free books, which is basically not exactly free. You actually have to pay for them. You actually have a different bookstore run by Artatech. They have APK Pure that's pre-installed, which has more than 16 apps, and we actually have our own Good e-Reader app store for e-ink that we sideloaded in. When you attach like a different bookstore, there's like 8 different bookstores that you can attach. They appear on your UI here. You can look at some, feed content here. Mainly just like books and information and stuff like that. Google Drive and an internet browser.
Here's the e-reading experience. You can press the button on the side. When you press the button, both of them actually press down a little bit and they get stuck sometimes. So you have to make sure that you're not, you don't get anything stuck in there because the buttons right out of factory get a little stuck. If you click the center, not only does it take 2 or 3 times to trigger the press, it opens up some font options. There's not too many font options. There's some font styles, some font sizes. You can see everything changes live, and then some page functionality. So you can do margins, you can do interlines, and you can do black and white. Everything's fairly quick with the e-reading experience. There's not too much demand on it. As you see, I swipe and nothing happens. Third time, fourth time. I mean, this is a live shot here. Everything takes a lot of presses for it to actually register you're doing anything. You have some table of contents at the top, and you do have long press. Long press allows you to highlight, note, and copy. I've clicked on the without, but it skipped the line and did an entire sentence, so you got to make sure that you're very slow with that. Search in web, and a back button. If you go to note, you can take notes, but the keyboard doesn't pop up for you. You have to actually click it again in order to trigger a note.
All right, let's see like the note-taking speed.
Sure, so we'll go Peter, P-E-T-E-R, is the best. So we have a couple mistypes and skipped letters, so the response time of the keyboard is actually pretty slow, and I've already clicked this X 3 times, and we have almost no response.
Before we jump to apps, it's important to note that it says currently reading no book, but as you saw, we actually loaded a book, turning multiple pages, closed the book, and now currently reading no book. So obviously there's some problems here. So InkBook Apps is their first party bookstore.
I know you pressed it, Mike, but it's just not doing it.
Yeah. All right. As you can see, their first page, their recommended apps, they have like 5 apps.
If you click to the entire availability, you have 8 on the first page, 8 on the second page, and you have no more room. So there are 16 total apps to choose from on the App Store.
Library basically brings you to like your ebook library. Dictionaries. As you can see, there's no dictionaries installed by default, but if there's 2 available dictionaries, 1 English, 1 Polish, and that is it.
So if you speak another language,
you're out of luck.
You might have to download a third-party dictionary app.
Okay, so you can sideload apps on here. Traditionally, like when you download like an APK, you drag like the top sort of like menu down, or you touch it, and then you can kind of like click on an app and install it. If you do it this way, any app you install will give you an error message, and there's no documentation on how to sideload apps. You actually have to click on your file manager and browse the internal memory of this device, and then you can actually like install like apps that way.
Yeah,
so
you actually can't do it from the system UI. It won't let you. It does cancel your Wi-Fi every time you're not using it, so you will have to go back into the settings menu every time in order to get your Wi-Fi back.
It's like Kobo e-readers, where when you Wi-Fi will automatically time out, but this device
off.
actually shuts Wi-Fi off altogether.
And you need to re-sign in, re-authenticate.
Yeah, so instead of just when you hit retry, just starting like the Wi-Fi again, you actually have to go to the thing, and there's no way to configure the Wi-Fi timeouts. It's automatic.
If you're looking at this thing that's endlessly loading, we've had this downloading a 3 MB file for about an hour, and we've tried to restart it several times.
I think at this point we just want to clear all.
Yeah, it's from their app store. So what Mike was saying earlier is that they forgot the orange LEDs, and why that is because if you go to, if it'll function, this side, this is the blue LEDs at the bottom, but they actually didn't include the orange LEDs, they just put white ones. So you can see that there's either white or super blue, and although you do get a white screen, you're losing the orange feel like you get on the Kobo devices and such.
To be honest, this is the worst e-reader that is not just in 2018, but I think this might be the worst e-reader we've ever reviewed.
It's hard when we review hundreds of units, and we're finding it hard to think back and decide which one this is worse than. You know what I mean? Like, this one really takes the cake on pretty much all categories. Performance, the amount of crash errors we've seen, it being 2018 and we still have 600 by 800 resolution, no audio capabilities.
Yeah, that's like 2011.
It is. It really is. Yeah, this thing is, the UI can't install apps, but for some reason the file manager can. Everything crashes. Their app store has 16 apps in it. I mean, guys.
Yeah, there's really no documentation that comes like in the box. If you looked at our unboxing video, there's really like no documentation that teaches you how to sideload apps.
No.
The currently reading is like busted. The color temperature experience is woeful. About the only redeeming quality is just the ebook reading experience, but that would be the only reason that you would buy it, is to read ebooks.
Yes.
You would not buy this for the app experience.
No, stay away from that.
To buy ebooks from like free books, to use the internet browser. This e-reader does everything slowly and sluggishly. You have to have it's a tremendous exercise in patience,
and that's saying a lot because e-readers have really improved their touch technology in the past, say, 6 or 7 years, and this is the most unresponsive capacitive screen we have ever used. Everything you do, be it on the UI bar, on the actual app itself, takes 3, 4, even 5 times before it registers anything, and by that time you're backlogged with all these commands. You've already pressed exit and home 3 times and nothing happens. It's just, it plays catch up constantly. We very rarely say stay away from an e-reader. We really do. We always try to find the good in everything, but I would have to say skip this one. Yeah.
For GoodEreader.com and a review of the InkBook Lumos, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.